Tonight we are inducting Jack Peck into the Alaska Aviation Museum's Hall of Fame in recognition of his many years as one of the entrepreneur pilots and builders in Alaska's aviation history. We are honored to present this recognition and reward to his family. Pioneer Alaska aviator Jack Peck was born January 25, 1915 in Exeter, California, and came to Valdez, Alaska in 1935.
And my grandpa had bought a gold claim, and the gold claim was in Valdez. Well, when they got to Valdez, and of course my dad tagged along because he wanted that adventure that I was talking about earlier with these fellows that wanted the wide open spaces. He tagged along to Valdez, and then he started his aviation career from there.
He worked and flew throughout Alaska, and in the 1930s partnered with Wyman Lanky Rice to form Peck and Rice Airways, primarily flying out of Anchorage and Bethel. During the war years, he flew for Alaska Airlines, eventually becoming chief pilot. In 1947, he signed on as chief pilot for the Al Jones Flying Service. A few years later, he started a cargo passenger operation called Alaska Aeronautical Industries, AAI, out of Anchorage, and he and several partners operated the Cessna dealership at Lake Hood. AAI was heavily involved in providing transportation services to Standard Oil for the exploration and development of the Cook Inlet gas field. After selling his interest in AAI in the early 1970s, Governor Egan, who on several occasions relied on Mr. Peck to fly him and his wife Neva to campaign stops throughout Alaska, appointed Jack as the Anchorage International Airport manager. After several years in that position, Governor Egan appointed him chief of all airport operations for the state of Alaska. Mr. Peck retired from the state service in mid-1970s and moved to Soldotna, where he and his wife Althea lived until he passed away on August 1, 1978. The 1929 Travel Air 6000 Bravo, also known as NC 8159, Al Jones Airways, which is on display at the Aviation Museum, was the aircraft Peck and Rice purchased from Mudhole Smith. Over the years, Mr. Peck flew supplies to mining camps, visitors to remote destinations, transported materials for the war effort, flew sick villagers to hospitals, tested airplanes for the Army, managed airports, and ferried governors and senators to distinct and remote areas of Alaska.
Lights around the object were different colors than what they were used to. You know, like your right wing or your left wing would have different colors on it. They didn't, they were all round. So, and all around the object. So that was pretty exciting. And some of the early pilots had a lot of experiences, and mostly they're just glad that they lived through them.
Jack Peck had a sterling reputation as an accomplished airman, a careful, dedicated pilot, and an aviator everyone could trust. He was also inducted into the OX5 Hall of Fame in the 1980s. Jack's wife Althea, also known as Babs Frances Archer, died in Soldotna, Alaska in 2005. Jack was preceded in death by his sons Jack Jr. and Brian, and is survived by daughter Gail Peck McDowell, and numerous grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. The Alaska Aviation Museum gratefully acknowledges the contribution of Mr. Peck made to Alaska's aviation industry and welcomes him into our Hall of Fame.